this thing? There it is. I got it. All right. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Danny K here. Sonic Flare. What's happening? Of course, go figure. Everyone seems like has done their Miles Davis UHQR video. Everyone except for me, that is. And why is that? Well, it's like I told you guys before, and I've mentioned this on a couple of the Michael videos that I do with 45 RPM audiophile. We both buy all of our records. No freebies. You pay, you play, right? I mean, that's how it goes. And so I just literally last week received my very copy of UHQR, Miles Davis Kind of Blue, that of course Chad Kassem and his team at Acoustic Sounds Analog Productions have put out. Paid full retail for it, just like everyone else did. And I figured, about 2 months ago when I first started the channel, I did a pre-announcement of the title, and I kind of stack ranked it, or I stack ranked the existing releases that I had access to, which I own, vis-a-vis what might be the UHQR, right? And so I figured, hey, it only makes sense for me to now actually do the full-on, this is it, the bee's knees, it's now or never, this is the last release of Miles Davis Kind of Blue. In all likelihood, that's probably going to be coming or is out for some time until, of course, the 45 RPM version comes out of it, which Chad promised it would. And he's announced it up, obviously, officially. So we know it's coming. We just don't know when. But my guess would be after that, it's going to be it for high quality, super premium Kind of Blue releases. Why? Well, frankly, I think, one, Sony, I doubt that they're going to release the tapes to anyone anymore. They're getting fairly fragile now. Even that Mark Wilder 3-2 mixdown tape that MoFi and the 50th anniversary have used is probably getting, a little old in the tooth. I mean, it came out in 97. We're now in 2021. So, even that's now 23, 24 years old. So, I don't know. My guess would be that whatever future release comes out is going to be sourced from a digital file. So, let's take a look at what we have to recap. We have, starting with, of course, the original, my fabulous Mint +++ cover, unfortunately not the record, but, such is life, of the original Kind of Blue first pressing. It is, obviously it's the 1959 release, and my record is probably a VG Plus, if I'm honest. The cover is, like I said, stunning. I mean, it looks like it was printed yesterday. I double protect it, archival quality, all that. So this is the first one. The second one that I'm going to talk about, of course, is, as I mentioned, the Mark Wilder mix 3-2, 3-track to 2-track stereo mixdown that came out in 97 that Sony themselves used for the 50th anniversary reissue that came out on the 50th anniversary, of course. The box set contains a DVD, CD, obviously. It contains a fabulous, fabulous coffee table-like book, which has, excuse me, whoops, I just dropped it, session notes, liner notes, fabulous artwork, session photos. I mean, it's just a phenomenal book. I've recommended it on my first video, and Chad has sold quite a few. I believe he still has them available at 70 or 80 bucks. I would definitely encourage you to, if anything, get this while you can, at the price you can, because once these are done, they're gone. And this beautiful book alone, worth its weight in gold with the record. Then we have, a little out of order, the original be-all, end-all, the classic records, Bernie Grundman live 3-track to Cutterhead, that came out in, when did this come out? 96, I believe. 95 or 96, I forgot. I have the 45 RPM and the 33. The 45 gives you obviously just a little more bass, a little bit more dynamic slam. But anyway, so this was the be all end all up until the UHQR came out, and then of course I have the second Mark Wilder 3-2 mixdown that was used by the team at Mobile Fidelity. Paid for this just like everyone else did. This came out probably about 5 years ago, I think 5-6 years ago maybe. And I thought when this came out, this was on double 45. This is obviously before their one-step program. I thought that when this came out, that this would be the last we would see the kind of blue original tape reissue, all analog, etc., etc. Well, and then of course, Chad surprised us, and he basically said, hey, we're gonna come out with the UHQR, and of course it comes in, the gorgeous booklet that they give you. It comes with the technical information, which, you guys have seen this online a million times. Beautiful Stoughton gatefold cover with session photos in it. Absolutely beautiful. One of the nicest covers. I mean, they really did a fabulous, fabulous job with this. So this, of course, it's got the latest, Sony music, etc. down here at the bottom. This comes, of course, as Chad had indicated and said it would be. It's using the same metal parts ever since he bought Classic Records, with whom Mike Hobson released the Bernie Grunman reissue the first time. It uses the same metal parts. The key difference is the vinyl formula. And so, unlike previous stuff that's come out, this is now on the very latest clear vinyl UHQR formula that Chad specifically created for his UHQR series. And this is now the 33 version on this new UHQR vinyl formula. And, right off the bat, to kind of jump into the review, I guess, right off the bat, the first thing you notice, I played it in hierarchical order. So I played I played my original, the 59 first press that I have, and it's noisy as all get out, right? You can immediately hear, when you drop the needle on the record, I mean, it's just noisy, right? I mean, look, so much has happened in the last 60, 70 years with regards to vinyl formulas that you can immediately tell it's an old record, right? There is a little bit of that originality from the tape being so fresh and all that you hear. The spatial cues, I think, get washed out for the most part in just the noise. And again, I have a VG Plus copy, so maybe a Mint will sound a little bit better. Then I played, of course, the Hobson Classic Records version, and this is the best up until the UHQR came out, right? And it's definitely reference material. It still commands a pretty penny on eBay, Discogs. If you can find one, at this point, I don't know that I would recommend it anymore, right? And the simple reason being that, as I will tell you in just a minute, when we go from this copy to the 50th anniversary that came out, which used that Mark Wilder 3-2 cut down, beautiful blue cover, blue vinyl, as you can see here. Gorgeous. I thought that was a great choice to put that on blue vinyl. Hobson actually did a couple hundred of these on blue vinyl as well. So if you have one of those, hey, I guess you're a lucky owner. But this came out on blue vinyl, and right off the bat, let me tell you, forget it. It's awful. It's useless. It's so noisy and so full of pops and ticks. I don't know where they pressed it. I have no idea where they pressed this. You will not buy this for the sound quality. You will buy this for that coffee table book and the DVD and all the extra CDs that you get. That's what you'll get this for, not the sound quality and not the blue vinyl. Then, of course, we had the Mobile Fidelity, which many people love. I have a little bit of an issue with it. And my issue with it is that, I hear it. I mean, it's like, it's the number one thing in high-end audio, right? Once you hear something, you can never unhear it. And so for me, with my full range system, the XVXs here that you can see, obviously, behind me, with my full range system, this record has entirely too much bass on it. You can hear it as soon as you drop the needle in the groove. When Paul Chambers opens up that do-do-do-do-dum-dum, it reverberates entirely too much. It's too thick. It slows the music down, the tempo. You can feel it getting smeary. And so for me, this record, I don't know. It's okay, right? I mean, it's quiet. I'll give it that. It's actually quieter than the classic records that I have. So you can hear, more of the detailed presence, especially when you use the DS Audio cartridge and EMM Labs DSEQ1 that I have. But even on a regular MCMM setup, it's a quiet copy. They've done a great job pressing it, all done at RTI. Mastering choices, not so sure, right? And then, of course, we have what I consider to be now the absolute reference, which is, of course, Chad's UHQR, right? This is it. This is the finest, short of the 45 that's coming out at some point, probably, I would guess, either later this year or early next year, or maybe even next summer. I don't know. This is the finest that you will ever hear this record sound, period. As I mentioned before, I sincerely doubt that anyone is going to be reissuing this again. I mean, who knows? Maybe they will. At that point, I will not be buying it because the classic parts, the fact that Bernie did a live 3-track to Cutterhead mixdown in real time, you will never, ever get that again. Period. Trust me. Mark my words. So, using those parts, using Bernie's mastering, which was sensational to begin with, using Chad's hand-pressed vinyl format, the UHQR pressing plant, the Finebilt hand presses, this is seriously the best that this will ever sound. And I strongly encourage you. It even beats the 45 that I have from Classic quite easily, I should say. There is simply more bloom. There is simply more that bass that I was talking about when Paul Chambers opens up. There is definition. There's texture around it. There's no overhang. There is no bloom, or I shouldn't say there's no bloom. There's no boom around it. The music has tempo. Of course, Bill Evans on piano. Every note has a nice shimmer to it, right? The spatial definition compared to the classic even goes out a little further, extends out just a little more. There's more air around the instruments. And by the way, I have to say this because this is so rare. This is, out of the 8,000 plus records that I have, there's only a handful that I keep in memory where I remember that they are the quietest records I own. And, I don't know if this is, by the way, if you think this is like number 1 or copy number 2, you're wrong. It's not. This is, I think mine was 2786 or 2783, if I'm not mistaken. So, by no means a first run press, by no means a first run copy. That said, this record is perfect. 100% flawless. I hope I can keep it that way. Although probably by handling it, dust kind of flaked around it by now. And, who knows, maybe there will be some ticks and pops now. But when I first played this, not one single tick, not one single pop on both sides throughout the entire record. Unbelievable. And by the way, quiet as all get out. Especially with the EMM Labs DSEQ1 and the DS Audio optical cartridge. I played this for a friend of mine, and we were both sitting there literally thinking we are listening to the master tape. That is how quiet this is. I have, as I mentioned a moment ago, maybe 15 or 20 records in my collection that are as flawless as this record is. I've heard rumblings online that some people got noisy copies, whatever. Look, it's simple. Call Acoustic Sounds, tell them you got a noisy copy, they'll send you a replacement, right? It's that simple. Again, this is not a special print. This is not a special copy that I got. This is number 2786. The quietest record that I have. Unbelievable. So, there it is. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching. My definitive review ends with a slam that the UHQR Kind of Blue is the definitive final edition that you need to get your hands on. Michael Ludwig started this thread, buy now, cry later. Actually, Chad started it. Michael just kind of ran with it. Buy now or cry later. You're going to spend, they pressed 25,000 of these. I think there's still a bunch available. I would not wait. I would not hesitate. Order it now. In 5-10 years, you're going to be spending multiples of the $100 that this record goes for. All right? Listen to me, pay attention, and just go out and do it. Trust me, you'll dig it. It's a fabulous record, fabulous release. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys soon. Ciao.